Everyone is talking about AI at the moment. Some people genuinely believe that ChatGPT can replace years of experience and even make property mentoring obsolete. After all, for around £20 a month, you've got access to one of the most powerful AI tools ever created. So why would anyone pay thousands for mentoring? Honestly, I wanted to know the answer myself, so I decided to run an experiment. I took a property investing strategy that I do and asked ChatGPT to do almost everything I would normally do. I asked it to find me a deal, analyze it, review the layout, run the financials, and finally, I asked it to convince me not to buy it. More on this later in the video. By the end of this video, I'll give ChatGPT a score out of 10. But more importantly, I'll answer one question. If you're a beginner today, do you still need experience, or is ChatGPT enough? Let's find out. Test 1, setting the rules. Before asking ChatGPT to analyze anything, I realized something. AI is only as good as the instructions you give it. If I simply typed find me a property investment, I'd probably get a pretty average answer. So instead, I explained exactly how I invest. For those of you who have followed this channel for a while, you'll know one of my strategies is converting 1-bedroom flats into 2-bedroom flats. I buy these properties below market value, I reconfigure the layout, create additional value, refinance, recycle my money, and then do it all again. Over the years, I've bought 17 properties using variations of that strategy, creating around £4.5 million in additional value. So I taught ChatGPT exactly what I look for: minimum room sizes, the type of layouts I like, what makes a good 1-bed into a 2-bed conversion, how I assess refinance potential. Essentially, I gave it the playbook. Straight away, I noticed something interesting. ChatGPT wasn't replacing my investing knowledge, it was using my investing knowledge. And I think that's an important distinction, because AI doesn't magically know what makes a great investment, it learns from the instructions you give it. Lesson number 1. AI is only as good as the investor using it. Test 2, finding the deal. Once ChatGPT understood my strategy, I asked it to search Rightmove for suitable properties. To be fair, it actually did a really impressive job. It shortlisted several opportunities and explained why they fitted my criteria. One property in particular stood out: Blakeney Road. On paper, it looked like a great opportunity. The floor area worked, the layout looked promising, there appeared to be scope to create additional value. Honestly, at this point I was thinking this is pretty impressive. But then I realized something. ChatGPT hadn't discovered a brilliant investment strategy. It was simply applying the rules I'd already taught it. Without those rules, it wouldn't know the difference between a great opportunity and an average one. And that's where experience comes in. The criteria didn't come from AI, that came from years of buying real properties. So yes, AI found a good deal, but it only knew what to look for because it had been taught what mattered. Test 3, due diligence. This was probably my favourite part of the experiment because ChatGPT became incredibly thorough. It started checking planning history, flood risk, lease information, transport, comparable sales, rental demand. It even highlighted assumptions it couldn't verify rather than pretending it knew the answer. I actually really like that. Instead of making things up, it would say, I don't have enough evidence. That's exactly what you want. But then something happened that made me laugh. ChatGPT kept telling me it couldn't assess whether the proposed layout worked because there were no room dimensions, except there were. They were printed on the floor plan, it had completely missed them. Now, that's not a disaster, but imagine you were a beginner. You'd probably assume ChatGPT was right. You might never question it because experience teaches you to challenge the answer, not just accept it. That's a subtle difference, but it's a really important one. Test 4, layout feasibility. Next, I asked ChatGPT whether my proposed layout would actually work. Again, it asked some fantastic questions: drainage, ventilation, soil stacks, fire regulations, natural light, building control. Honestly, some of the questions were excellent, but here's the thing. Every answer I gave created another 5 questions. I'd answer those, then another 5 appeared. Eventually I realized something. Property investing isn't about answering every possible question, because if you keep going, you'll never buy anything. The real skill is knowing which questions actually change your decision. That's experience. Knowing what matters and what doesn't. Test 5. Financial analysis. Then came the numbers. Purchase price, refurbishment costs, end value, rental income, mortgage, cash flow, return on investment. Again, ChatGPT was very transparent. Whenever it estimated something, it told me it was an estimate. Whenever confidence was low, it explained why. I actually preferred that to some spreadsheets I've seen from investors pretending their numbers are facts. But here's something AI couldn't know. It analysed everything using the asking price. Experienced investors know the asking price is often the least important number. The real question is, can you negotiate? Why is the owner selling? Have they already found another property? Has a previous sale fallen through? Do they need to complete quickly? Those answers can change the deal completely. AI can't negotiate. It can't read people and it can't spot desperation. And that's often where the biggest profits are made. What AI still can't do. By now, I was genuinely impressed. ChatGPT had done far better than I expected. But then I realised something much bigger. Every answer it gave me created more questions. And that's actually one of AI's biggest strengths. And one of its biggest weaknesses. Because property investing isn't won by asking the most questions. It's won by asking the right ones. There's always something else. ChatGPT only sees what you give it. It sees Rightmove photos, floor plans, documents, planning records. What it doesn't see is everything else. It can't walk around the building. It can't smell the damp in the communal hallway. It can't hear noisy neighbours through the walls. It can't notice that the lift has been broken for 6 months. It can't feel that the whole block is poorly maintained. Estate agents upload the best photographs. AI analyses those photographs. It doesn't experience the property. Then there's the people. AI can't tell that the estate agent is desperate for a sale. It can't read body language of a vendor who's already accepted they're going to have to reduce the price. It can't chat to the neighbour who casually tells you that the building flooded twice last winter. It can't notice that there are 3 other flats in the block all up for sale. Those things never appear in a property listing, but they can completely change the investment decision. And finally, AI doesn't know when enough information is enough. It will happily keep analysing forever. Experienced investors know there comes a point when you stop analysing and you make a decision. The final test. Finally, I gave ChatGPT one last challenge. I told it to forget everything positive, pretend it wanted to stop me from buying this property, destroy the investment case, challenge every assumption, look for reasons to walk away. Ironically, this is where AI became genuinely brilliant. Not because it suddenly knew more about property, but because I'd finally asked the right question. Instead of asking, why should I buy this? I asked, why shouldn't I? And the quality of the answers improved dramatically. It challenged refurbishment costs, questioned the end value, highlighted planning risks, asked whether I was being too optimistic, and reminded me which assumptions needed a real-world verification. That was incredibly valuable, not because it made the decision for me, but because it forced me to think differently. So, can ChatGPT replace property mentoring? My answer is no, not even close. But can it make a good property investor significantly better? Absolutely. This experiment has taught me something I wasn't expecting. AI doesn't replace experience, it amplifies it. It can analyse faster than I can. It can organise information better than I can. It can challenge assumptions I might overlook. It can even stop me making expensive mistakes. But it still can't decide which questions matter most. It can't negotiate a better purchase price. It can't read people. It can't walk around a building. It can't trust its instincts when something just doesn't feel right. And that's where the real money is made. So if I had to score ChatGPT after this experiment, I'd give it an 8.8 out of 10. Not because it's perfect, but because I honestly think every property investor should be using it. Just don't expect it to replace judgment. Because after buying 17 properties, creating around £4.5 million in value, here's the biggest lesson I've learned. AI can help you analyse a property. Experience helps you decide whether to buy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.